Hello everybody, I'm Richard Burton from the Richard Burton Art Centre at Bempton here on the East Yorkshire coast. I'm the watercolour artist and I just want to recap over 2024 as my final video, really to recap over a number of paintings I've done over 2024 and just talk about what we have planned for 2025. And so without further ado, I'd like to start on some of the paintings. It's been an incredibly busy year for painting, and this is one I want to sort of highlight first to show off. This is a painting, this is a landscape watercolour that I did of Flamber Head, looking towards Bempton Cliffs and finally on the Yorkshire coast in the distance. It's simple, again watercolour that's painted on with diffused washes and then utilising shadows and darks, but using certain darks in certain places to give that feeling of hopefully giving that certain depth to the painting. And it works, and I was quite pleased with it. Now this one is a painting of Knaresborough, which I did courtesy of the North Yorkshire Art School in Scarborough, where I've been doing quite a lot of workshops with them for the last couple of years. This is a painting early morning on a Sunday morning. It was a lovely day, super weather. It was a great workshop, and it was about capturing the light and the reflections in the water, which was really sort of part of the magic in this painting, and also really the old bridge that goes across the town, and even the sort of buildings in the distance to give that little bit of perspective to the painting. And I like the lovely green colours, the energy about it, and the tranquility as well with the little rowing boat under the bridge. That all worked really well, and overall it came together rather nicely, and I was very pleased with it. This one is a painting of puffins at Flamber. Puffins are very much the attraction that come to bring people to the Yorkshire coast, and so I obviously wanted to incorporate them into a painting. And this is Flamber Head with the rocks and the cliffs, and obviously 3 puffins. And I was quite pleased with this one. It was very much a lot of wet work. I've used a little bit of masking fluid here and there just to protect some of the whites and the highlights, and then I had the opportunity to put a collection of puffins in the foreground just to give a little bit of an interest and a little bit of a focus to it. All in all, I was quite pleased with this. It's got a bit of energy and is really quite attractive. Now we're moving back to a wildlife theme, and this one is called the swimming puffin, really. And this is obviously, as you can see, a puffin swimming on the water, and I'm trying to capture the light, the reflections of the water, the disturbance of the water, and also trying to capture the sort of the essence of the puffin busy swimming along. And I was quite pleased. It's got some soft diffused distant colours for the less disturbed water, and then we've got a range of colours that I've used wet on damp and wet on dry for the disturbed water, and trying to capture some highlights in the mix, really. So yeah, all in all, yeah, it was it's worked quite well. So back to the coast now, and this is North Landing in Flamber, and really what I'm looking here is the rock pools. And when many go out, come to the coast, the children love to go out into the rock pools and look for the crabs and look for the little fish and everything that's sort of swimming about in the water. And this was my attempt at trying to capture that seaweed, those floating seaweed, in looking into the water and looking into the rock pools as you sort of look through the painting, and you can see that sort of element of North Landing in the background. And a lot of this is about painting on damp paper, all the sort of submerged elements of the picture. The water is done on the moist and on the damp surface, and then you've got those sort of harder edges where I'm wanting to do the rocks that are sort of coming out of the water, and the dry areas, and obviously the landscape in the background. This was one that I was really quite pleased with. It took a little bit of doing. It was a little bit more involved with this one, but nonetheless I think it captured what I was trying to do, which was trying to capture that really feeling of looking into the light, looking into the water, and sort of capturing your gaze, so you can sort of really sort of study the water and get a feel that actually that water is, if you look at it closely, you can almost feel it moving. I'm finally now to something very different, which is a painting I did of a series of people, really. People studies. This was the people at work, and this is the barista. I call it the barista scene. It's a cafe in Malta, in Valletta, when we had a holiday there, and I was essentially trying to capture the movement, trying to capture the people, and really trying to show off the sort of magic of watercolour. I'd got a lot of interest and activity going on in the background with all these diffused water washes and splattering and various elements in the background to give that sort of mystique and set the scene for the figures, which are going to be the central part really. And they were again then silhouetted against that background, and the background has got elements that you sort of recognise as the paraphernalia that goes with the cafe, and they were just subtly washed in delicately, but nonetheless sort of seemed to work quite well. And then I put a series of soft washes and diffused washes with almost a little bit of Chinese white, just to get that glaze of a shiny worktop in the foreground. And as I say, this was part of a series of washes, paintings that I've done of people, and this was one that I was really quite pleased with, and I think it captured very much the mood of what I felt at the time. Busy barista, people busy working, and some lovely light. So now that gives you a little bit of a flavour of some of the paintings I've been doing over 2024, and we've had, as you can see, there's a range and variety of stuff that we do in watercolour, and that's the beauty about watercolour. It's so varied and so mixed. Obviously it's been great fun working with the North Yorkshire Art School and delivering workshops with them. There'll be more coming through in 2025, and we'll have the links below in the website for you to see that. Also, obviously this is early days for us, and if you can, please, if you like it, if you can like and subscribe, that really helps with our algorithms and gets us noticed, which is really important. And going forward for 2025, we want to do a lot more. There's going to be a lot more workshops. There's going to be a lot more in-person workshops for me on the Yorkshire coast here, and there's also going to be, we're going to develop an online workshop as well, and course for you to look and enjoy, and that's something for the future, and something what's going to be exciting for 2025. So in the meantime, I want to say thank you for those that have been following me. Those that have just discovered me, great, please come along. We're going to have some exciting times painting, and there's a lot more to show you, and Happy New Year for 2025.